Welcome to World This Morning. Thousands of protesters clashed with police in Colombo on the 15th day of the protest against the government on the island nation. Four Albanian women and 9 children who joined the Islamist extremist groups fighting in Syria and Iraq were repatriated from a Syrian camp. Stampede at a church charity event in southern Nigeria left 31 people dead and 7 injured. Lotoket, the air show, marks UK Queen Platinum Jubilee. Real Madrid beat Liverpool 1-2 to win the UEFA Champions League final for a record-extending 14th time. Welcome viewers, this is World This Morning and we are tracking for you what's happening in the US with respect to the Secretary of the State Antony Blinken, which has reiterated that his country fully supports Finland and Sweden in joining the Nato. Let's take a look.
US Secretary of State Antony Blinken has reiterated that his country fully supports Finland and Sweden in joining NATO.
The most important thing is that Finland and Sweden are speaking directly to and with Turkey, and working through some of the concerns that Turkey has raised and finding ways to address them. We very much support that process. As I mentioned, we're engaged with Turkey directly as well, but the focus is on the work that Finland, Sweden, and Turkey are doing together to address the concerns. And
Blinken made his comments during a visit from Finnish Foreign Minister Pekka Haavisto to the State Department on Friday.
I'm confident this is going to move forward. As Pekka alluded to a moment ago, we do have the NATO summit coming up in a few weeks, and our full expectation is that this process will move as we head into the summit, as well as at the summit itself. So again, beyond that, I'm not going to get into the specifics, but there's an ongoing, very active conversation between Finland, Sweden, and Turkey that we'll support in any way that we can. I suspect NATO will do so as well.
This comes as Turkey's foreign minister said that Sweden and Finland must now take concrete steps to elevate his country's security concerns to overcome Ankara's objections to their NATO membership bid.
Then regarding Turkey, our delegations visited actually Wednesday, both from Sweden and Finland. Turkey had a good negotiations there, long negotiations, agreed to continue those talks, and of course we rely on NATO open door policy, which is also supported by Turkey, and we think that these problems can be solved, that which Turkey has been raising, and it's probably very important that some results could be achieved before the Madrid summit, which is an important moment for NATO and also for us as applicant countries in the end of June.
Meanwhile, Foreign Minister of Turkey said that the delegations from 2 Nordic nations have returned home with Turkey's demands after this week's visit, and Ankara is awaiting their answers. The country's membership bids require support from all NATO nations, but Turkey is objecting to them. Agency Report, Republic TV.
Well, viewers, with respect to the Ukrainian war, NATO, of course, has been at the epicenter of the entire controversy. Now, lashing out at the West, the Russian President Vladimir Putin has called the pressure from the Western states as a real aggression. Let's listen in as to what happened with that.
During a speech at the plenary session of the Supreme Eurasian Economic Forum in Moscow, the Russian President Vladimir Putin called the pressure from some Western states a real aggression.
Далее уделять особое внимание вопросам обеспечения продовольственной безопасности. Ну, вы знаете, что в мире складывается ситуация непросто. Наши страны вносят очень серьезный вклад в решение этих проблем. И Россия, и все другие члены нашей организации ведут себя в высшей степени ответственно.
Putin also approved the initiative to extend the temporary free trade agreement of the Eurasian Economic Union with Iran.
Вызывает удовлетворение, что даже несмотря на сложную международную ситуацию, на развязанную так называемым коллективным Западом конфронтацию, на то, что наши недоброжелатели пытаются чинить всяческие препятствия нашей интеграции, все-таки, и коллеги сейчас об этом говорили, совершенно очевидно для нас всех, что растет интерес к деятельности Евразийского экономического союза со стороны многих зарубежных партнеров.
Russian president said that the global appeal of the Eurasian Economic Union was growing despite the confrontation initiated by the West. Russian president also told the European leaders that he was ready to cooperate ways to get ships with the grain exports out from the Ukrainian ports. These exports have reportedly been stuck at the key Ukrainian ports in the Black Sea. He also demanded that the West must remove sanctions against Russia. Putin blamed the Western countries for exacerbating the global food crisis due to their erroneous economic and financial policies and the barrage of sanctions against Moscow. Agency report, Republic TV.
Well, viewers, there has been a lot of controversy when it comes to the gun violence that has unraveled in the US. Now, according to the data published by the research group Gun Violence Archive on May 23rd, the US has witnessed more than 140 mass shootings so far in 2022 itself. Now, the Gun Violence Archive stated that there were 144 mass shootings so far this year itself. Now, take a look at this report to know more about the protests against guns violence, and that took place after a horrific shooting that took place in Texas in a school. Let's take a look.
The annual meeting of the National Rifle Association regularly attracts protests from gun control advocates. But in the aftermath of the Uvalde shooting, this year's protest was charged with motion. More than 1,000 protesters shouted, "When is it enough?" Protesters were blocked by security forces as they tried to enter the hall where the meeting was being held. Protesters gathered outside the annual convention of the National Rifle Association in Houston, demonstrating against gun violence in the US. The location of the NRA meeting was just 400 kilometers away from the school, where a heavily armed teenage gunman went on a deadly shooting rampage, killing 19 children and 2 adults. The incident has added to the sense of outrage and disbelief amongst the protesters. The NRA, the largest gun owners association in America, spends millions of dollars every year lobbying politicians to block gun control legislation. The NRA meeting sparked anger amongst the protesters as parents in Uvalde still mourn the tragic deaths of their children. According to the data from the Centers of Disease Control and Prevention, gun violence is the leading cause of the fatalities for youngsters in the United States. The data shows that in 2020, a total number of 4,368 children and adolescents under the age of 19 were killed by guns. This was an increase of 29.5% from 2019. In addition, African American children were reportedly 4 times more likely to be killed by gunfire. Agency report, Republic TV.
Now on to some more news from Venezuela. Viewers, Perez Mora of Venezuela has been declared as the world's oldest person living by Guinness World Record, and he turned 113 on 27th of May this year. Here's a peek into his life.
Perez Mora of Venezuela, declared the world's oldest living person, turned 113 years old on the 27th of May. The celebration to mark the occasion comes 10 days after he officially became the title holder as the oldest man in the world, given by the Guinness Book of World Records.
Oh, pues muy orgullosa, yo me siento feliz muy feliz, muy dichosa, muy alegre, llena de, bueno, de una alegría que no tiene uno cómo explicarlo bien, y muy bendecida por Dios, por ese honor que tenemos hoy, por los 113 años de mi papá, y bueno, por ser el hombre más longevo del mundo. De verdad que es una bendición de Dios.
Perez Mora celebrated his birthday with a mass and a tour through the narrow streets of his village, during which the traditional Venezuelan song Cumpleaños Feliz was played for him. He has 41 grandchildren, 18 great-grandchildren, and 12 great-great-grandchildren. Perez Mora, despite having difficulty speaking, is in good health and does not require any medical treatment.
En este momento el señor Juan Vicente Pérez pues ha logrado una longevidad en esta población andina, rodeado de muchas montañas, de un ambiente muy cómodo. El señor Juan Vicente pues ha conservado un estado de salud que ha tenido pues obviamente unos cambios con un deterioro propios de la edad.
Perez Mora had become the world's oldest person after Saturnino de la Fuente Garcia, who was born on February the 11th, 1909 in Spain, died in January, aged 112 years and 341 days old. Bureau Report, Republic TV.
Well, viewers, much has been said and heard about this trial that is going on with Johnny Depp and Amber Heard who actually gathered outside the courthouse in Fairfax, where Virginia, to support the actors. These were followers of Johnny Depp and Amber Heard. After a 6-week trial in which Johnny Depp and Amber Heard tore into each other over the nasty details of their short marriage, both sides told the jury the exact same thing, that they wanted their lives back. Let's take a look.
Fans of both Johnny Depp and Amber Heard gathered outside the courthouse in Fairfax, Virginia to support the actors.
I'm supporting Johnny. I've been here since day one, and today marks his journey. I'm supporting Johnny because I believe in him, and he finally told the world that men can be victims too, and justice is finally going to happen for him.
Johnny Depp, who's suing his former wife Amber Heard for $50 million for defamation case over accusations of domestic violence, was seen waving to his fans as he arrived in the court. Amber Heard has filed $100 million counterclaim against the former Pirates of the Caribbean star after his lawyer called her allegations a hoax. The counterclaim has received less attention at the trial. Amber's lawyer Elaine Bredhoff said that it provides an avenue for the jury to compensate Heard for the abuse Depp inflicted on her, even after they split by orchestrating a smear campaign.
If we're looking for justice, I don't think we should be celebrating someone's demise. I think we should be taking this a bit more soberly.
After a 6-week trial in which Johnny Depp and Amber Heard tore into each other over the nasty details of their short marriage, both sides told the jury the exact same thing. That is, they wanted their lives back.
He's been well known in Hollywood for so many years. People have grown up with him on TV, in their living room, in the movie theater. So, I mean, people have an emotional connection to him, and some of their favorite movies are probably with Johnny Depp. But I think that people are more interested in him rather than his legal case.
Depp is hoping that the trial will help restore his reputation, though it has turned into a spectacle of a vicious marriage, with broadcast cameras in the courtroom capturing every twist, to an increasingly rapt audience as fans weighed in on social media and lined up overnight for coveted courtroom seats. When the jury deliberates, it will have to focus not only on whether there was an abuse, but also whether Amber Heard's op-ed piece could be considered as legally defamatory. Agency Report, Republic TV.
Now, viewers, on to some exciting news from the world of sports. Now, the Real Madrid was crowned the UEFA Champions League winner after beating Liverpool 1-2, and we'll bring you details on the other side. Defeated the Liverpool in what was closely contested Champions League final to extend their record to 14 European titles. Now, Vinicius Jr. scored the solitary goal in the match. Here's a match report as to what happened.
Teams, the biggest European championship on offer. A mouth-watering clash at the Stade de France in Paris. But even before the action could begin on the pitch, there was a chaos off the pitch. Outside the stadium, tear gas was used to control the fans arriving at the stadium as the security staff struggled to handle the crowds.
We've been stood in this queue since 6:15. I've got really bad asthma and I've been tear gassed twice. I'm just really struggling.
The situation outside the stadium forced UEFA to delay the kickoff. The match finally started at 9:37 p.m. local time, 37 minutes later than scheduled. An energetic start from Liverpool put the Spanish champions on the back foot, as Jurgen Klopp's men repeatedly knocked on the doors of Courtois' goal, but the Belgian stoppers' fine saves managed to keep Liverpool at bay. As the clock neared half-time, Benzema managed to find the net after a pin ball at the Liverpool box, only for the goal to be ruled out offside after a lengthy VAR check. As the second half resumed, the game appeared more evenly poised, with both sides having an even share of possession. Beating PSG, Chelsea, Manchester City and Liverpool in a difficult run of games, Real Madrid secured a record-extending 14th Champions League title. Agency Report, Republic TV.
Now, viewers, hundreds and thousands of AS Roma shouting supporters cheered the team parading through the streets of Rome on a bus to celebrate their European Conference League victory as well. Let's take a look as to how the celebrations unraveled.
Hundreds of thousands of AS Roma shouting supporters cheered the team parading through the streets of Rome on a bus to celebrate the European Conference League victory.
È fantastico, è come 20 anni fa, come l'ultimo scudetto, non è cambiato niente, il nostro amore per la Roma è sempre quello. E quindi siamo qua, adesso c'è una nuova squadra, un grande allenatore, c'è tutto per fare bene, c'è un grande presidente.
As Roma team and staff toured the ancient center of the Italian capital, dancing, singing and showing the trophy to the supporters from 3 open buses. Nicolo Zaniolo scored in the first half. Goalkeeper Patricio made some big saves in the second, and Roma beat Feyenoord to win the inaugural edition of the third-tier Europa Conference League.
Ci mancava una vittoria, ci mancava da troppo tempo e spero che adesso il presidente capisca quello che vuol dire vince qualcosa a Roma. Spero tanto che lo capiscano e che soprattutto ci faccia una squadra che ci faccia lottare per I vertici.
It is Roma's first European trophy since winning the 1961 Intercity Spare Cup, a tournament considered to be the precursor to the UEFA Cup and Europa League. It's also the first title of any kind for Roma since winning the 2008 Italian Cup. Roma had lost their 2 previous continental finals, defeated by domestic rival Inter Milan in 1991, UEFA Cup, and dropping a penalty shootout to Liverpool in 1984 in their home stadium. Agency Report, Republic TV.
Well, viewers, Charles Leclerc positioned himself to reclaim the Formula 1 points lead from reigning champion Max Verstappen by winning the pole for the Monaco Grand Prix. Let's take a look as to what happened.
Charles Leclerc positioned himself to reclaim the Formula 1 points lead from reigning champion Max Verstappen by winning the pole for the Monaco Grand Prix.
It feels amazing. Obviously, the first lap was good, was really good. I mean, I started pushing a bit more in Q3, but the second lap in Q3 was, I think, one of the best laps I've done in qualifying. And unfortunately, I couldn't finish it, but it was really, really good. And the rear was moving a lot. I was nearly losing it at every corners, but yeah, it felt particularly good.
Meanwhile, Red Bull's Verstappen termed the defeat an unlucky event.
Yeah, it was good. I was up on my lap. It was all feeling good, but then of course I saw the roadblock in turn 8. So it's unlucky. It's Monaco. We just have to deal with it, accept it, and move from there.
Leclerc was already atop the leaderboard Saturday when a crash by Sergio Perez stopped the session with about 30 seconds remaining. Leclerc said had Perez not crashed, his final flying lap would have been even better. For Leclerc, he must actually finish a race on his home circuit. He won the pole a year ago but was unable to start the race because of damage to his Ferrari. He's never finished an F1 race in Monaco. Agency report, Republic TV.
And here's some news in brief, viewers. A growing food crisis has been worsened by Ukraine's inability to ship millions of tons of grain and other agricultural products as the country remains under attack. The country is one of the world's largest exporters of wheat, corn, and sunflower oil, but the war and a Russian blockage of its port have halted much of that flow, endangering the world's food supply. Many of those ports are now also heavily mined. A stampede at a church charity event in southern Nigeria on Saturday left 31 people dead and 7 injured. One witness said that the dead included a pregnant woman and a number of children. As per the government statistics, such events are common in Nigeria, Africa's largest economy, where more than 80 million people live in poverty. A mayor of the southern Ukrainian city of Mykolaiv on Saturday released a video footage that showed damage caused by shelling in the residential area of the city. According to the mayor, Alexander Senekovich, one woman died and 7 people were injured, with 2 of them in a serious condition. Protesters took to the street on Saturday to protest against the asphyxiation death of the black man. They carried banners, read "Justice for Genivaldo," and accused Brazilian police of racism. Video released earlier in the week showing Genivaldo being held by 2 officers of Brazil's Federal Highway Police. Inside an SUV smoke-filled trunk is sparking outrage among the Brazilians. The last of the victims of a gunman's racist attack on a Buffalo supermarket will be laid to rest on Saturday. Ruth Whitfield, at 86, is the oldest of the 10 people that were killed, unfortunately. Now, Whitfield was eulogized by the civil rights activist, the Rev. Al Sharpton, at a service attended by Vice President Kamala Harris. And viewers, that's all we have for you in the world this morning. Coming up next is the Morning Express, and in that will bring you details of how the PFI members have not been unable to stomach the Kerala High Court directive and targeted the judiciary. And KV Thomas tears into Vadra Congress, says that the Grand Old Party is disconnected from the grassroots level. Getting you details on the other side.